Good morning. Hello. I hope everybody had a good weekend and is doing well. I'm here today, and then tomorrow I'm on feral kitten duty again, taking one of the babies up to her new owner. And so I will be here today, and then I'll be back on Wednesday. Um, and like I said, hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a really nice weekend. A friend came in from out of town who had been to Egypt with me, and we reminisced, and it was just lovely to be together. We carved pumpkins because we hadn't gotten to do that at Samhain. So it was just really nice. So now we are in the month of Santa Muerte in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple. And I have actually just redone both of her altars. We moved in the shop, we moved her altar up to the front of the store so that she's there for this month. And then she'll go back to her other altar at the end of the month. And then we also have shifted the altars in the house. So she's got a brand new big altar here in the house. So that was a productive thing that's been going on for the last couple days. And we go to Santa Muerte for whatever it is that we need. If we need help, if we need healing, if we need protection, if we need justice, if we need sweetness in our lives, if we need rescue, if we need relief, we can go to her. She is always listening. And because she is already assured of our time when we will meet with her, then it's okay. She can afford to be helpful to us in this life. I usually give her offerings. I ask for her help with, any kind of a thing that requires sensitivity, compassion, and fortitude. And so we call upon Santa Muerte in the temple with this prayer. I found this prayer online. It wasn't attributed. I've looked for the author and I haven't found it. If you know who it is, of course, let me know. And then I just set the prayer to song because I like to sing my prayers. So let's just take a moment here, remembering the fragile preciousness of this life, and let's call out to her. Madre mía, Santa Muerte, ante las dificultades de la vida, ayúdame. En mis desaciertos, ilumíname. En mis soledades, acompáñeme. En las horas difíciles, fortaléceme. En las tentaciones, defiéndeme. En las peñas y tristezas, consuélame. Con tu inmenso poder, protégeme. Con tu infinito amor, ámame. Con tu gran bondad, mírame. Con tu mano providente, guíame. Así sea por siempre. Amen. Let's draw a card of inspiration and a message from the Jade Oracle. This Jade Oracle is by Veronica Iglesias and Ann Key, and it depicts different deities and cultural concepts of the Aztec people. There are other decks that are more Santa Muerte focused, but I really like the depth and historical research and accuracy of this deck. So even though Santa Muerte transcends any one kind of cultural identity, she's not She's an amalgam, and she's an inspiration of many different cultural identities within Mexico, and also including some of the perspectives of the Spanish colonizers. Nonetheless, she really resonates. I feel like the messages of this deck really resonate. Today's card is Tsitsi Mime. Tsitsi Mime. Good morning, Chantal. Nice to see you. Welcome. Hi, Mineka. Hello. Hi, Natalie. Good to see you. So, Tsitsi Mime, the star woman, Mujeres Estrella. She's beautiful with her crown of stars. Here we go. Although the Spanish called them devils and demons, monikers that still persist to this day, the Tsitsi Mime are associated with the stars, the power of creation, the feminine, and the underworld. As a metaphor, bones symbolize the creation of life as opposed to death in Aztec culture. It's different. We think of bones as meaning death, but they thought of bones as meaning new life. Um, and they are prominent in the Aztec images, and especially with Tzitzimime, often associated with chaos. The Tzitzimime bring destruction as a precursor to creation and new order. They were petitioned for healing. They have the powers of regeneration. These deities are called angels of the air and sky bearers, holding the sky up from the earth. They bring rain, water, thunder, and lightning. The Tsitsimime play an integral part in the continuity of human life, and they remind humankind of our responsibility to keep the cosmic cycles in motion. Along with all beings on this earth, we are part of a grand cosmic cycle, and we play a part in sustaining Oyin, the primal energy of life. When the Tsitsi Mime come to you, they remind you of your responsibility and your power. What are you choosing to create and sustain in this world? The Tsitsi Mime demand mindfulness in all of our actions. So this is interesting. It reminds me in a way of the dakinis, or the matrikas, that we see in Buddhism and Hinduism. These sky dancers, the elemental forces of destruction and creation that are inherently the female divine, the great churning wheel of time, as the sun and the moon and the stars, and we move through the cosmos. This Dakini energy, Tsitsi Mime energy, Matrika energy, this energy of there being a great churning that is creation and destruction at once. This is the goddess. This is fundamentally the goddess. Even with all the goddess says that are culturally local, that's also important, but they're earthly. This is cosmic energy. This is the black hole at the center of the galaxy, endlessly churning. This is the spiraling arms of the Milky Way. This is the movement of the spheres and the music of the spheres. And it is scary to some of us. It's scary because it's the great unknown, and yet it is the only knowable thing, right? What's the only, they say that the only things for sure are death and taxes. I would say that the only things for sure the only thing for sure is change. If change is the only thing for sure, and here we are with that fundamental power, of course, we sometimes feel a little scared of it. This is probably in part why the colonizers demonized the Aztec deities, because the Aztec deities weren't about redemption, they were about order and the cosmic order, not our earthly idea of order. I also think it's interesting that they bring the weather because here in Siskiyou County, we are due for some storms tomorrow. So I think it's a kind of an interesting foreshadowing. Good morning, Kathleen. Yeah, and Chantel says, I've been saying that for years. Yeah, change is the constant. And when we accept it, we don't have to fear it. We might feel nervous about some aspects of change. And good morning, Paris. Good to see you. Hi. Um, we might feel anxious about some aspects of change. Sometimes we want to just hold on to things the way they are because we feel secure. It's an illusion because that security is fragile, just like life. It can be pulled out from under us at any time. We could wake up tomorrow and there's, some calamity. There could be any number of things that could happen. The fragility of what we think of as constant is astounding. Who do we go to when we need to acknowledge that fragility? Who do we go to when we need to say, I'm ready to be courageous in the face of change? We can go to the Tsitsi Mime, we can go to the Dakinis, to the Matrikas, the Kandro. These beings, the star beings, the beings who govern the fundamental forces of creation and destruction, who seem capricious, but who know the larger order that's unfolding. They are fundamentally our allies. They're not here to hurt us. They're just here to do what they do, which is the right and proper order of our universe. There's a lot of things that happen that we don't understand why they happen. We suffer when they happen. We mourn when they happen. I also feel like this is an interesting divination to get on the heels of the volcanic explosion in Iceland. From chaos comes order. From that destructive force comes new earth. So today, let's pay special attention to how we attune with weather patterns, the cosmic order, and the cycles of change in our lives. Let's go in with our eyes open, our hearts fortified with bravery, and with the expectation that we have allies. That's our short bit for today, if that's what you were here for. And now we're going to dive into our chanting. And I'm just going to show this picture one more time because you see the rain and the lightning coming from her hands. That's so powerful. This is a really beautiful, beautiful image. Okay, 3 prostrations before the shrine of Guanyin. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And of course, continuing to hold for the miraculous ceasefire that is needed now, that is needed yesterday, last week. Ceasefire. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. Let's make our offerings. Oh, I have to get water. I'll be right back. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering for Guan Xiyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Omahong. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. 108 recitations of Namo Guanxi Pusa, calling upon Guanyin and asking her to remind us that we can turn our face toward the cosmic order when things in this world feel disorderly, chaotic, nonsensical, painful, or strange. Namo Guanxi Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi Yin Pursa, 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 Namo Guanxi Yin Pursa. And the prayer for the Mani Reciter of Calm by Gyaltse Tokme Zangpo. Lama Dankun Shuksum Lak Chaksalo, Dakni Changchut Nimpor Chike Bar, Gangdang Gangdu Kepa de Dang der, Tadu Tuje Champo Jetsin, Shing Gusum Gewe Chila Chipar Sho, Jamdang Ning Je Champo Kunlang Ne, Tuje Champo Duljar Girpa Nam Lame Changchut Chola Gope Chir, Tuje Champo Trinle Je Par Sho. Homage to the Guru and Three Jewels. Wherever I may be reborn in that place, may I always follow the great compassionate one and dedicate my body, speech, and mind to virtue, inspired by loving kindness and great compassion, in order to lead all Mahakarunika's followers to supreme and unsurpassable awakening. May I carry out the great compassionate one's activities. Lama Dankun Shuksum Lak Chaksalo, Dakni Changchut Nipur Chike Bar, Gangdang Gangdu Kepa de Dang der, Tadu Tuje Champo Jetsin Shing, Gusum Gewe Chila Chipar Sho, Jamdang Ningje Champo Kunlang Ne, Tuje Champo Duljar Girpa Nam, Lame Changchut Chola Gope Chir, Tuje Champo Trinle Je Par Sho. And 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum, sending out the benefit of this chanting to all of those who are being wounded and killed in this horrible war in Gaza. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Lama Dechen Yeshe Wangmo. Om Sosti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss Yeshe Wangmo be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxi and Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin, bow to one another, and bow to the inner teacher. Wishing everyone a great day, and I will be back on Wednesday. Bye-bye.